Hello everybody, today we are gonna make snake and ladder application in Java. This application will be a console based application, so there will be no graphics. To make it we are using NetBeans IDE, so if you don't have you can just go and get it to get started. Right, you can see we have the code over here in the snake and ladder folder in the final SNL. Right, so over here if you see, first let me show you like by running the file like what we are making. Okay, so I just run the code. You can see it is telling enter total number of players, so let it be 2. So it is now printing the board. You can see from 1 to 100, the at the rate are the snakes, the above arrows are the ladder. Then it says press R to roll the dice, right? So let us press R. So you can see the player 1 has rolled the dice and the number is 5. Then for player 2, okay, after each dice roll, right, it will show you the position because it is not a graphic based program, so it will just show you the positions, and the play will go on until any one of the players reached 100, right, and it will just show the winner. Let's go to the code. You can see over here we have the main public class final SNL containing the public static void main. We have taken the scanner class, initialized the variables. Okay, so it is we are taking integer number of players. It will store the number of players, right? Then we will display to the user enter total number of players, and we will take the input over here, and we are taking an array, and this array will store the positions of the player and keep on updating it. Then we are making all the array elements 0 because that is a good practice to make all the array elements 0 before the start of a program, right? And then we will just start the main program. You can see we have declared the class conf, making the object C, and using the functions inside the configurations c.board and c.play, right? So the board function will create the board that you saw just, and c.play will be the actual main program, right? So let's get with the simple part, which is c.board. Okay, so if you come down, you can see the class conf starts over here. Inside this we have the function void board, and this function is just printing out the board. So you can see this is the board designed in the notepad and just paste over here. After this you can see we will be starting with the c.play, right? This is the interesting part and very important part. So we are declaring void play, and then we are passing the variables number of players that are playing and the positions of the player. Okay, so first we will show the dice rolls, right? For that we will be using the for loop, right? For loop, so it will just repeat the code as much time like the number of players time, right? So if there are 3 players, it will repeat the dice roll 3 times. If there are 4 players, it will just repeat the dice roll 4 times, right? So you can see it has I is equals to 1, I is less than is equals to number of players, so it will just repeat on the code for number of player times. Coming in, we are taking an integer r, which will store the random function, right? This random function will output a number between 1 and 6, including 1 and 6, right? So it will just store that value in r, and then we will use it later on. After that we have the function roll dice, correct? So this roll dice function actually is will tell the user to like press some button so that we will roll the dice, right? So let's get into the code first to understand it more betterly. So you can see over here we have void roll dice, and you can see first we are taking a scanner class sc, then we are telling the user to press R to roll the dice, right? And then we are taking the input, the next input the user will give, right? And then we will be checking if the player has like pressed the letter R, right? If he has pressed letter R, then nothing will happen, the game will continue, right? So, and if he has not pressed the letter R, he will just display to the user, you have pressed the wrong letter, press R to roll the dice, right? And then it will again go to the roll dice function, which is over here, and again take the input and again do all the stuff till the time the user don't press R. Okay, so till the time user don't press R, either the game will be in pause state or it will just keep showing him the error, right? So after the user has pressed the R, what will be done is okay, the dice will be rolled, right? So we will be printing that player 1, suppose it is the I is equals to 1, right? So player 1 roll dice is plus R, so this R will contain this number, the random number between 1 and 6. Okay, this will be created each time, and you can see it will be stored. So suppose the number is 3, so the player 1, okay, roll dice and the dice number is 3, and if it was 4, then it is 4. Then we will go to the next line. Over here we will check whether like we will just, you can see there is P of I, right? So P of I is the position of the player plus R, which is a random number, right, over here. So suppose it was 3, okay, and position of the player was 0. Okay, so 0 plus 3, is it greater than 100? No, it is not greater than 100, so this will not be executed. It will go to the else part, and over here this will be executed, right? Like P of I, which is 1, the player 1 is equals to player 1 position plus R. So we know that at the start the position of the player 1 is 0, so 0 plus R, which is 0 plus 3 or 0 plus 4, whatever, so the position becomes 4, right? So we are calculating the player position. Okay, why we are writing this code over here? Because if suppose the position in the later half of the game, the position of the player becomes suppose 99, right? And now he is rolling the dice, and the number comes like 4 or 5, suppose 5. So 99 plus 5 is 104. So like that doesn't happen, right? You cannot go to 104 or you cannot go to 100, okay, till the time you don't get like the perfect number. So to achieve that thing, we are writing this code. So it will check if it is greater than 100, don't do anything, just go on. But if it is not greater than 100, just do this, just update the positions. After that we will be checking the snake and the ladder, and we will be taking the action. It is quite simple. You can see if the position I is equals 35, then make the position 15. Okay, like if it is 35, okay, the updated position, if you can see, we are adding, right? We are adding. After adding, the position is 35, and so we will just do it, we will just make it to 15. Okay, so this will act like a snake, and if the position is 3, it will just make it to 21. If it is 37, it will make it jump to 49, and so on. So our roll dice function is done. Now we will go to show the player positions, right? So because it is a console based program, after each dice roll we have to show the positions of the player, right? If you see over here, 2R and R, suppose the two dice rolls has been done. After that it is showing me the positions. Okay, so player 1 is at this position, player 2 is at that position. So for that you can see it is repeating 3 times, or maybe actually the number of player times. Okay, so how many number of players will be there, it will depend, it will repeat that much time, right? And it will just show the positions which is stored in P of I. After that we will be printing the winner. Okay, first we will be checking. Okay, first we will be checking. So first we will repeat the code, the number of player times, and then we will check if like player 1 reached 100, player 2 reached 100, player 3 reached 100, player 4 reached 100, right? If somebody reached 100, right, anybody, then it will go inside this and it will print like player 1 or player 2 is the winner, and then it will just break and it will just go out and it will just end the game, right? So we have the winner. But if suppose there is no player who reached 100, then it will go to the else block which says b is equals to false, right? False means 0, b is equals to 0 or b is equals to false, and then we pass this b. Okay, we check for this b. If b equals false, right? So nobody reached 100, then just continue the game. So we will pass this function play number of players p, and the game will again start from here, right? But this time the position of the players has been updated, right? So they are not at 0 position, they are now at higher positions, and play will go on till any one player reached 100 and he will be declared like player 1 is the winner. Okay, so let me just show you, because we can't do that much thing. Let me just put p of 1 is equals to 100, right? So I am manually putting p of 1 is equals to 100. So if I run, you can see 2 players, you can take 3 to 4 players as well. You can see player 1 is the winner and the game stops. So just commenting out again. So this was Snake and Ladder app. You can use it in your college or to learn it. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.